Hello there, guys and girls. How's it going? Screezilla here. I hope you're all well. Talking with a pipe in your mouth is very tricky. And you join me today in World of Warships for a very special event. Yes, we are in submarines indeed. Today we'll be taking out the Zipper class submarine. We will be joined by Barracuda and a Garafalcon. Garafalcon? Anyway, yes, we are taking out some ships. Well, submersibles, indeed. Some steampunk submersibles at that, and as you may know, I am a steampunk nerd. I am a bit of a nerd anyway, but steampunking is one of my hobbies, for sure. Yeah, and these submarines are fantastic for their steampunk look. They look gorgeous. That's the first thing I'm going to say about them. They are look fantastic. Now, submarine gameplay is a little bit different to normal. I'm going to pop my pipe down before I start smashing the table with it. Submarine gameplay is a little bit different because, well, obviously you're in a submarine. So there's not just forward and backwards. You have down and up. So with a submarine, you use the F and C key to go down or go up, of course. When you dive, however, you have to watch out for your oxygen. Now, in the Zipper class, you have to be a bit careful because it's quite a low oxygen supply in there. So you've got to be careful not to be under too long. You also have, of course, torpedoes. Now, in the Zipper, you only get 2 torpedoes active at once, and they are the... Oh, if I can actually... There we go. They are the freezing torpedoes. So basically what these do is they actually freeze your enemy and slow them down. They do damage, of course. So as we see there, we do 15,000 damage, cause some flooding, but we'll also slow that enemy down. We basically freeze his engine. So it will slow the ship down and stop it moving so fast. And this can be very, very useful indeed, especially for taking on ships that are a little bit faster. So you can slow your enemy down and help your team out, basically. So you're basically, in the Zipper, you've got to be a bit more scouty. You've got a very low detection range, obviously, because, well, you can go underwater, and when you go underwater, you can barely be detected, which is very, very handy indeed. But when you're on the surface, you have got a slight detection range, and you just got to be careful of that, because you don't have many hit points. Now, we get a second hit there, on a, well, another hit on another target there, so we've got 2 hits. Cause some flooding, of course, so we're not doing too badly here. Now, we've got a Barracuda up there fighting it in the midst of them. And the Barracuda's a little bit more tanky than us, so it's designed to go up ahead. Another torpedo hits there, another ship, and again slows it down. So 3 torpedo hits, and 3 flooding, which is always good. We launch another torpedo, and as you see, there's that beautiful little blue streak, because it is an icy torpedo. It does freeze the water behind it as it's moving along. Not sure how the propulsion works in these ones, though. Maybe they have some form of steam engine in there that uses ice or something like that. Who knows? Who knows indeed. Right, I'm going to stop talking too British and steampunk anyway. So we managed to take down another enemy battleship there and press the wrong button and dive a bit deeper. One of the things I was struggling with in this game is actually the diving, because I kept hitting the dive button when I meant to surface, and that was a little bit problematic, as you can imagine. So the goal of this mode is to basically eliminate 15 foes, have a few of you have at least 3 submarines survive, spot the enemy onshore gun mounts, so we've got to go and spot the catapults basically and the ballistas, and we've also got to discover the location of the Black Lair Castle. And that's an important one because we do sort of have a bit of a shorter time limit. Now, this is a replay, so I do apologise it's not working. We had about 4 minutes to spot the castle, and that's 4 or 5 minutes, and that's in this location here. So, got to go and find it. Now, when you do start running out of oxygen, you don't need to worry too much, because what will happen is you will emergency blast up. So, as you see here, I dive instead of surfacing. But when you do run out of oxygen, you don't die, you just surface a bit quicker. One other thing that is noticeable in this mode is when you're actually on the surface, your torpedoes are a little bit less accurate. So when you're diving, Your torpedoes have a slightly narrower course of length, so they're a little bit more accurate. So it's better to fire off your torpedoes in a dived position. Now, of course, the other thing as well is we are getting the name of the proper ships coming up. The Charles Martel over there, for instance, which it's named a little bit differently, and the Bismarck. They're not named that in the game, they're named something else, and I can't remember what it is. So there's quite a few ships we have to take down here, and you've got to be very careful, because if you get spotted on the surface, you will take a lot of damage, especially if you're in the Zipper, because it's designed more as a scout boat rather than a tanky boat, where the Falcon and the Barracuda are designed to be able to take a few more hits and designed to be a bit more tanky. This also shows with the Zipper, it only has a very small secondary, so you don't really have a very good secondary gun. You've only got I think it's a 76mm gun on board, and so you can't really do too much damage. But your torpedoes have got a decent range of 8 kilometers, so you've got a decent range of your torpedoes, and you've also got very good detectability and spotting ranges, so you can spot ships quite easily. Now we surface here by the Bismarck, and as you see, we get a shot off with our secondary gun as well. Now, we had to be careful though, because we had to surface to go get some oxygen. Now, the Barracuda goes in for a ram there and doesn't really do much. Don't ram in a submarine. Submarines are not designed to ram the enemy with. The enemy are actually firing depth charges at us as well, so we have to be careful of those because they can cause a lot of damage. The secondary gun fires off again. We're just surfacing quickly and manoeuvring, basically, just to try and avoid getting hit, but also trying to get our torpedoes around on this Bismarck. So we're around, fire off the round, and he just starts moving right at the moment when both of us fire our torpedoes. Luckily, the other chap there with the Falcon has managed to get off a second torpedo, which is very useful. Now, in this submarine, you don't have a rear launcher, so you've only got front launched torpedoes, so you've just got to be a bit careful of that. You only have 2 torpedo tubes, so you don't really have much. Now, one of the other things to take notice of is spotting the enemy. You only spot the enemy when you're on the surface. When you're underwater, you've got a very small detectability range. It's very hard to sort of track the enemy. So, right up in front of us now, we actually have our target, which is the Leviathan there, but it's actually the what's he called? Rasputin. The Rasputin. There we go. Yes, the Rasputin, the mad Russian monk there. So we fire off one torpedo, and we're just moving into position. We're just going to get some oxygen on board, and we're going to swing around in a moment, and then we're going to fire off another round. Now we also move faster underwater as well, which is handy. So this game's gone really well. We actually had a really good team. I'm not sure if this is just really easy or if it's just the team, but we got really lucky in this game. We had a very good team. And the Rasputin is down. And... oh, sorry, that's not the Rasputin, that was a Leviathan. Sorry, we're not there yet. No, we've still got time, yes. We're still going in to get the Rasputin. Sorry, I was ahead of myself. That was a Leviathan. So we're going to try and get into the Rasputin now. So, sorry, I was completely thrown off there because the names were slightly taken back. So anyway, we're still going. We've still got time. So we're going to move into position and try and take out the Rasputin. So our team's spotting the ballistas and the catapults. So that's good. We're getting the secondary tasks done, which is absolutely brilliant. We've still got a lot of submarines left, which is also very good. And we just need to eliminate one more foe to get the 15 foes done. So we're going to go up to the Rasputin next, and that is in this area here where we're heading to. So in this area here is the Black Layer Castle and the Rasputin itself. So we have to sort of scout out this area. And another thing I will say about this mode is the map is gorgeous. I mean, look at the map. Like, it's just so very cool, isn't it? Like, seriously, this is just awesome. And the whole mode is really pretty. I honestly think this is probably one of the easiest Halloween missions we've had, just because you're not escorting anyone. So don't have to worry about an escort quest, because escort quests are the worst. But it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous mission. And just the way the ballistas fire and everything works, it just looks great. And as I said, the actual steampunky ships, just, I love them. These submarines, they're just so very cool. The fact that they've done like eyes for the conning tower, the red smoke that comes out of it, the weird glows, the little oxygen pipes, things like that, they're just so cool. So Nikolai the First there, which is actually the Rasputin. So we're gonna take that out. We've also got Octopus as well. So I think some of the names have actually come back on now rather than just disappearing. So we've got to take out the Rasputin, and it's a relatively hefty ship. As you can see, it's got quite a lot of hit points. So you're going to need to get the torpedoes off at it quite a lot. Another thing to be careful of is I think friendly damage is actually active in this mode. So watch out for your torpedoes, because you can cause damage to teammates. Because one of our teammates did get hit by a torpedo. Not one of mine, thankfully, but one of our friendlies, and it did cause quite a lot of damage. But getting our torpedoes off on the Rasputin really causes a lot of damage towards it. When you're using those ice torpedoes as well, they do cause an awful lot of damage and slow the enemy down, which is really, really handy for other torpedoes to be launched. So we've just run out of oxygen, emergency blowout. We're up. Torpedo hits. Enemy fire comes in. Torpedoes hit. And we are done. We've spotted everything. We've killed the enemy. 3 submarines left. We have got a 5-star job done. That is the mission over and done with. So we're going to head to the post-screen result now. And I will be heading away from my camera view. And with that, we get 5 stars. Yes, we've managed to 5-star the operation, so that's pretty neat. We get some pumpkin containers. We've also got the Terror of the Deep medallion medal thingy. Rapid threat spotting, we've managed to get that too. So we've managed to do pretty well in that battle. So let's just head back to port. I must admit I'm a little bit underwhelmed that it didn't really feel that interesting, in all honesty. It might just be the submarine. The Zipper is just a bit of a... It seems like a scouting boat. The torpedoes were not too bad. They were kind of useful. So I'll just quickly show you the 5 stars here. Sorry, I clicked out of it just as we were going in. As you see, Halloween container, Halloween container, Halloween container, Halloween camouflage, Halloween camouflage, and Elena symbol. We also got ourselves a new submarine as well. So we got the Silo, which is a very cool looking submarine. Very, very neat. It's a cool little sea lion. So with the Zipper, as you can see, it's basically got 2 torpedoes that you can use. They are the freezing torpedoes. I don't know what people get. They get the freezing torpedo and the normal torpedoes. So basically this thing's designed to slow the enemy ships down. So it did pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. Pretty fun little game, in all honesty. I don't know, it's not as in-depth as I'd have hoped. Terrible pun there, I know. I feel ashamed of myself. So anyway, let's collect some containers. So we've got the Halloween container. So let's open the container. Bloop. 5k free experience. That's not bad. Open another container. And bloop. Some Halloween camouflage. And let's open the last container. Blop. And some more camouflage. So not great loot, in all honesty. What should we go for our login one? Let's go for a try our luck. Let's try our luck. Let's see what we get. Roll up the dice. Normal container. No super container, of course. Just a standard one. Let's see what we get today. And open her up. and a couple of Juliet Charlies, which are, of course, the Citadel explosion removers. So, not Citadel explosion, ammo explosion, generally exploding things. So anyway, yeah, that's the submarines. Pretty interesting, I guess. It's not the, I don't know, it's not that interesting in all honesty. Which is a shame. I was kind of hoping that they would be a bit more interesting. As we can see here, the damage on these torpedoes is far greater than the freezing ones. These also slow down your enemy a little bit. So this ship has got more damage capability, obviously. It also has some anti-aircraft defense as well. Yeah, interesting. I do love the design of these, though. The steampunk design is fantastic. Very cool. And the Barracuda as well. Barracuda gets normal damage torpedoes and freezy torpedoes. And also it gets these big secondary 133mm guns too. So you do get some secondary gunfire that you can use. Yeah, that's pretty much naval. Not naval, sorry. Brains in warfare mode. That's pretty much the submarines. Yeah, it's not bad. But I must admit, I was hoping that there would be a bit more of a... Maybe I was just very lucky that time with a good team. But yeah, it's interesting. It's something that's very different. Alright guys, well I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know below what you think on the submarines in World of Warships and what you think of this event. Look, the event's not terrible. I don't know, it's just not as interesting as I'd hoped. I imagine submarines could work very well in game though. From that game I actually got a good vibe that submarines would work as a option in World of Warships. It's quite a cool option, but that sort of battle, we didn't really get any destroyers chasing us or anything like that. It was pretty interesting, but at the same time, as I said, it was a bit easy, a little bit too easy, so to say. Alright, until next time, this is me, Screezilla, out. Bye bye.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Screezilla. Steaming Sticks. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.